welcome to our art room at Wattle Glen Primary School. My name is Eliza and I am the art teacher there, and I'm so happy that you've been able to join us today for a special art lesson. Hopefully you will have received one of these packs by now with lots and lots of special and exciting materials inside for us to explore. We are going to read a story together, and then I'm going to show you how I create my art. You're going to do something like it, but it doesn't have to look the same, because that is the most exciting thing about art. We learn to do lots of things, but our art doesn't always look the same. We are going to create something like this little home here, with a little person that can go inside. But we are going to talk more about this after you've joined me for a story. So you can sit back, relax and listen. No Place Like Home by Ronna Joy Gosh. No place like home. George never smiled. He never spoke to anyone. In fact, George was quite the grump. George didn't even eat ice cream. And he certainly didn't like his house. It was much too small for him. The city was no place for a polar bear like George. It was crowded, and George didn't like crowds. All George wanted was to go back home, but he had forgotten where home was. He knew the city didn't feel like home. Maybe the jungle was home. But he didn't like sleeping in trees. George tried living on a mountain, but he didn't like heights. They scared him. Maybe the desert was home. No, the desert was too hot and it made George thirsty. What about the sea? The sea was better. George liked being in the water. But sometimes the sea made him nervous. The sea wasn't home. George rode sadly for days and days until he came to a strange white land. George liked this place. It was cold to touch and covered with ice as far as he could see. George wasn't grumpy anymore. After all his travels, he was sure of one thing: there is no place like home. As well as your art pack, you'll need to get some glue and scissors to complete this activity. It doesn't matter what type of glue it is. Then I'm going to put out all my items ready to go. So I've got some collage materials, I've got some pipe cleaners, some coloured card, some circles. You should have 2 little eyes in there, some matchsticks, as well as the house stuck onto some paper. Then I'm going to get out the plasticine, which is a modelling material. Now, plasticine can be quite hard to use until you play with it for a little bit. So I want you to get it in your hands and squeeze it and push it until it starts to warm up and become much easier to use. You're going to create a little person. This person could be you, or it could be somebody else. Now, everybody's plasticine will be different colours, but I'm going to start off by rolling two circles, two spheres actually, one for the head and one for the body. The body one, I'm then going to roll it a little more so it looks a little bit more like a sausage. And then I'm going to push my head to my body, which will create the head and body of my person. I'm then going to use the matchsticks for arms and legs. I'm going to break them in half because I feel like they're a little bit too long. But if you would like them long, you can keep it that way. You can choose the colours that you would like to use. I'm also going to create two little more balls to put on my feet. I'm just going to push them onto the matchsticks. Now I'm going to add a face. I'm going to add some eyes, and I'm even going to add a mouth by breaking up a little matchstick and pushing it on. Now, this is what my person looks like, but if you want to do a different type of person using different materials, you can do that too. What kind of hair do you have? Do you have spiky hair? Maybe you could use the matchsticks. Or do you have curly hair or long hair? Maybe you could cut some of the pipe cleaners and use that for hair. You can decide. I couldn't decide, so I did half my hair spiky and half my hair long and twirly. Looks a bit like a spider on my head. Oh, and my foot fell off. So once I'm happy with my person, I can put that aside. Then I can start to work out. This is my home. How would I like to decorate my home? Well, if I had the perfect home, I would like it to be sparkly and colourful and full of things that make me happy. I love being at home, so I've put a love heart on there too. So I'm going to start to glue and decorate my house. You could maybe make some furniture for your house, or you could decorate it the way that I'm doing it. You can use any of the materials that you've got to create your house. You might also like to add some decorations to the outside of your house. Did I tell you before I love sparkles and colour? Well, I do. So I'm going to add some sparkles and colour and different shapes to the outside of my house too. You might like a different type of house. Maybe you'd like a house with a chimney. Maybe you'd like a house with a table. You can add those things as well using coloured markers. So just any textures that you've got at home or crayons you might like to use. I'm going to add some colourful, curly lines because I love being at home. It makes me feel happy. I'm also going to add some stripes onto the very side edge of my house. Remember, your house does not have to look like my house. You can add whatever you like to your house. So I've got my person, I've got my house, but it's looking a little bit boring on the outside of my house. I might add a sun, or shall I add a moon? I don't know. Moon or sun? No, I think I will do a sun on mine. If I wanted to do a moon, I could flip the circle over and use the white side. Just like that. But I've decided that I want a nice sunny sky. So I'm going to add the sun and some rays of sun coming out by cutting up the other circle. You can add a sun. You could add other things into the sky as well. Maybe you want some clouds. Maybe you want some rain. What type of weather is there going to be going on around your house? Now it's still looking a little bit boring. I think I need to add something else. What else would I like to have? If I could have anything around my house, you know what I would have? I would have trees. I love nature. I love trees. I love flowers. So I'm going to cut some trees out first. So I've cut out some tree trunks. You could cut out a rectangle shape for a tree trunk. I'm going to put one on either side of my house. You might choose to do one tree or no trees. That's up to you. The next thing I'm going to do is I'm going to add the leaves of my trees, but I noticed that there were these little paddy pans. So I think that they would make great greenery or leaves on my tree. So I'm going to glue them on the tops of my tree to be the leaves. I'm going to keep on going till I'm happy with my trees. Then I can think about all the other things that I've got there. What else could I add to my picture? I think I might add some grass. So I am going to cut out some spiky, triangular shaped grass. I might even cut out a round bush. I wonder what kind of bushes might be at my house. Maybe a flowering bush or shrub in the background as well. So I'm going to glue those down. Then I can add some of the other items. So I think I'm going to add some flowers to my little bush there. Or maybe it's a raspberry plant. I don't know. I also like flowers. So I'm going to create a little flower sitting there out of all those collage materials as well. You can do whatever you like with the items that are left. You might like to add a bird to the sky, or a possum in the tree, or a butterfly, as well as your person. Enjoy creating your ideal home. Thank you so much for joining us today at Wattle Glen Primary School in the art room. I would love to see your art, so if you're super proud of your work, get someone to take a photo and send it in to us so I can have a look. See you later, everybody.